Hello and welcome to day 97 of the 365-day meditation challenge, where I challenge myself to meditate for 1 hour a day in 2 sessions of 31 minutes for an entire year. Today I was debating whether or not and what tutorial should I make for myself, because I sold the camera and I started filming on this camera, which means I had to make the perfect settings for me. And I made a tutorial not only for myself but for YouTube as well. And it came so much in hand, because I was like, I had to sell the camera and I forgot to put the settings on this camera. I don't know if I forgot something, but hopefully it's the perfect settings as I had on the other camera. The point is that it's so easy to just go back and look and see what settings I had, because I made a tutorial, and that tutorial was based on 2 or 3 hours of research on and reading white papers about like the camera settings and what the color phases and all those kinds of things, in order to really dial in the colors that I wanted for this specific color profile. And the point is that I didn't know what else. Like, this was so handy because I just spent 3 minutes and I was just looking at a video and like copying everything, and it was super easy to follow. And I was like, oh my god, if I didn't have the video, I would have like really struggled to find the right settings once again. So I was thinking, like, what other videos can I make? What other tutorials? Because I can just take my phone, put my microphone into the phone, and then just record and publish and have a tutorial forever for myself, or I can just film on the camera and have a tutorial that way. And one of the things that I was thinking of doing is actually momentum. I really am a proponent of this idea of momentum. Sorry, my voice was cracking over there. I'm a really big believer in momentum, which means that if you build enough momentum to do the things that you want, you don't need motivation, you don't need inspiration, passion, anything that other people would deem as necessary to do whatever you want. And the way you build momentum is by having a timer, setting a timer for 1 minute and doing that task that you want to do. Do it over and over, 10 times a day, 20 times a day, until you have a habit, until it's super easy to do, and it doesn't take any effort. And you might think that this is really preposterous, and not only preposterous, but it's also, I don't think I pronounced that word, preposterous. I didn't pronounce that word properly. So you think that doing 10 or 20 repetitions a day of 1 minute is pointless. Why don't you do just 20 minutes or 10 minutes of that thing, and you're just going to have the habit in the same way? But it doesn't go that way, because it takes 38 repetitions to have a habit. If you do 10 every day in 4 days, you have a habit. And once you have a habit, it just becomes so much more easy to win, because you don't have to train yourself again or motivate or just put yourself to do that. And you not only train yourself to do that specific habit, but you also train yourself to start that specific habit. And that's the whole point. That's the idea that people don't understand. It's not just the habit, it's the starting of the habit that is important, because we all know that whenever we put ourselves to work, we can spend 5, 6, 7 hours on just working on that specific project. But it's that 1 second, that 2 seconds, just putting yourself in the spot, that really takes the most amount of motivation, or whatever you want to call it. But that becomes irrelevant if you have momentum. If you have like 500 repetitions of filming yourself, how easy would it be to just film yourself 501 times, like another time? It's super easy, because you just press record, you have everything set up, because you've done it 500 times. And so in order to do it 500 times, you need to have everything dialed in, because if it takes more than 2 minutes, you're being like, oh no. And if you've done it 500 times, you've hit this wall where, oh, I now have to set the light. Oh, I have to set this. Oh, I have to set this. So you have to make everything more permanent if you do it 10 times or 20 times a day. And people don't understand that if you do 10 times a day in 50 days, you have 500 repetitions, which means that you will start to do that habit. You will start to look forward to do that habit, and you will start to gain energy from doing that habit that you wanted to do, especially if the habit is conducive to getting into a flow state. I don't know why I cannot project my voice properly, but it doesn't really matter. Let's start the meditation right now. And there you go. The meditation is over. And I was just thinking that I'm a bit angry with a friend of mine because I've been providing him with so many tools to improve his situation, and he's not improving because he just doesn't, he listens and he doesn't do anything because he thinks that understanding an idea is enough to solve the issue. But it's not the understanding that solves the problem. It's the actual solution, the actually doing what I tell him to do. And he doesn't. He just intellectualizes everything and thinks that he understands. And now that he understands, his life is going to get better. No, that's not how it works. That's really not how it works. And I'm trying to make him understand and trying to make him see that if he really applies himself, his life can be 10 times better and he can solve so many of his issues that he's really struggling with and really not he's not been able to solve them for the last 3 years once and for all. And it's so annoying. And if he didn't complain about it, I would be like, okay, he's relatively happy, but he's not, and it's annoying. And I'm like, do something, please. I cannot solve your issues. You are the only one who can take action to solve your own issues. So take that action and do those things that I tell you and believe in them, and you will change your life. You will start to see changes, big changes, like really big changes in terms of energy, in terms of feeling how good you feel about yourself, like emotional regulation, like meditation is just, it gives you so much more emotional control and so much more emotional assurance, like self-assurance. And people don't do it. And they complain about the fact that they cannot feel good. I'm like, of course, because you don't do anything to feel good. You don't take any action. You just want the result. It's like, oh, I want a pizza, and you just wait in your house for a pizza. Either make one, order one, or go outside and buy one. That's the point. You take action to get anything. Why not emotions? Why not take action to get some emotions? To get some emotional control, to get some self-assurance, to feel better about yourself, to not take things too seriously, it's being happy and being in a good mood. It's a habit. It's a saying that I keep on saying over and over to myself. You are what you practice. If you practice being in a bad mood, you are going to be in that bad mood every time. Of course, if you only laugh once a day, how are you going to laugh more? No, if you laugh 200 times a day at everything, even if it's not funny, things start to become funny because your brain cannot deal with that constant dissonance. That it cannot deal with the fact that you are laughing and you're like, your mind is like, why are you laughing? It will start to see things funny around you and situations that shouldn't be funny but are funny. And that's the point. It's a muscle. Like the thing that you practice, that's what you feel like. If you practice being angry, you start being angry more and more and more and more. If you practice being joyful and laughing and things like that, you start to become that. You start to become that which you practice. And that's the point. And you're not faking it. If you are laughing, you are laughing. It's just that it's not faking it. It's just dissonance that your brain needs more repetitions in order to fix that dissonance. So that's the point. Cognitive dissonance, it's called. Thank you for watching. This was session 1, and see you in the next one.